afternoon, basketball fans, and welcome to the second game of our doubleheader from Cardinal Gym on the campus of Trinity Valley Community College in Athens, Texas. Today we have the Cardinals of Trinity Valley, of course, taking on the number 20 ranked Paris Junior College Dragons, who are currently leading the North Zone of the Region 14 Conference. They are definitely setting the pace. They've got a 3-game lead on the Cardinals. They're a couple of games up on Navarro. If the women's game today was the appetizer, this here is going to be the full course meal and the dessert, Michael, because this should be a great basketball game and it's an important basketball game for the Cardinals.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to this one, Benny, because we've got two teams that are really trying to position themselves for the postseason, and it's really important for the Cardinals being in the third slot right now with the top two getting a bye into the tournament.
It really is, Michael. And of course, back in December, the Cardinals went on the road and beat Paris 76-71 in a great basketball game in overtime up at the Hunt Center there in Paris. And we would expect this to be a typical game, back and forth, back and forth. Both teams have size, both teams have quickness. So this game here is really a game between two of the premier teams in the league this year.
Yeah, and while TVCC has beaten Paris is probably not who they're shooting for in the standings at this point. They're looking at Navarro, who's only a game up on them at this point, and who is playing Bossier Paris. And what we really want to see is the Cardinals win this to keep pace. Looking forward to that big game next Saturday here.
Yeah, exactly. So as you see the standings there, the Navarro's got Bossier Paris today, a game Navarro's probably going to win. So if the Cardinals can knock off a red-hot Paris team, they could keep pace with Navarro and have a chance next week to maybe get that second spot and possibly draw a playoff bye. We're about ready for the introduction of the starting lineups, and then we'll be underway, of course, here at Cardinal Gym. We should mention before we get underway, we have a major upset today in the women's side. We had Lon Morris upsetting Kilgore 75-73. So suddenly the Lady Cardinals have got a 2-game lead with about 4 games to play, Michael.
This was a great day for Lady Cardinal basketball.
Has been so far, but now our attention turns to the men's game, of course, and a huge game for Coach Pat Smith and the Cardinals. We should mention that the Cardinals coming into today's game are 20-5 overall. They're 9-5 in the conference. They're coming off a 98-79 road win over Glenn, and it's just going to be it's just a big day for the Cardinals here today.
Trinity Valley Community College would like to invite you to the 3rd annual WBTA Pink Zone Fight Express.
Again, we're going through some pregame announcements before we have the announcing of the starting lineups. And again, I'll mention that Paris is 21-4 on the year, on a conference record of 12-2. Their national ranking is 20. So this is a game in which the Cardinals have a shot at both gaining ground in the conference standings and knocking off a nationally ranked squad. And the Cardinals have been just on the cusp of being ranked this year.
And this late in the season, I fully expect this game to have a playoff feel to it.
Yeah, this is a big game. Here's our starting lineups.
Number 22, Bryce Cartwright.
Cartwright's a 6'1" sophomore out of Compton, California.
Number 31, Derek Eccles.
Eccles is a 6'5" sophomore out of Brooklyn, New York.
Number 32, Justin Hammond.
Hammond's a 6'6" sophomore out of Seattle, Washington.
And number 44, Destin King.
King is a 6'6" sophomore out of Alexandria, Louisiana, averaging 15.4 points a game. Darius Gatson, a 5'10" freshman out of Houston, Texas, is averaging 4.9 assists per game. Ernest Stretch Watson, a 6'7" sophomore out of Washington, D.C., is averaging 10.5 points a game and 9.3 rebounds a game. Reggie Stallings is a 6'3" sophomore out of Flint, Michigan. Keandre Derrick is a 6'1" sophomore out of Dallas, Texas, son of former Cardinal great Neil Derrick back in the mid-'80s. And from Spanish Town, Jamaica, number 45, Adrian Forbes, a 6'8" sophomore.
Boy, you like to hear those family stories with Derek. Boy, that just tells you what people think about TVCC.
It sure
Because
does.
it's one thing to come yourself, but when you go back and you send your son there, you know what they think about the Cardinals.
Exactly. See the Cardinals going through their pregame ritual there at midcourt, and we're about ready to get underway. And, folks, this is just a huge game in the Region 14 Conference North Zone. So glad you're joining us on the Cardinal Sports Network. We invite you to just sit back and watch this one because this one should really be a great, great basketball game. I know both teams want to go into the Region 14 tournament, which will be held March 4th through the 8th at UT Tyler in Tyler with a full head of steam. And, of course, for the Cardinals to get one of those 2 byes that are available in the North Zone, they've got to finish in the top 2. And both Navarro and Paris currently have those spots. So the Cardinals really, that shows you the importance of today's game for the Cardinals.
And I'm always interested to see what happens in the first 5 minutes of a ball game, Benny, because that'll tell us so much.
It will tell you. It will tell you a lot, Michael. It always does. Forbes jumps for the Cardinals and is controlled by the Dragons. Cartwright. Hammond with the basketball, 32. Now they go inside down low. Good move inside, blocked by the Cardinals. I believe Stretch Watson might have got a piece of that one. It is a block for the Cardinals, and they go on the attack.
Both
Cardinals,
teams
dressed in their home white.
man.
Shot from the corner, no good by Stallings. Out of bounds. Ball belongs to the Dragons.
Sorry about that, Benny, but both teams have opened up in a man-to-man defense.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of man with these two teams, that's for sure. This is just going to be a 94-foot game, Michael. It's going to be all over the floor. Tom Schubert's in his first year as head coach at Paris, standing in front of the Paris bench. And we're going to have an offensive foul. It's going to be called on 31. I'm sorry. Derek Eccles. The foul was on Derek Eccles. I thought he said 3, and I knew there wasn't a 3 on the roster. Gatson running the offense for the Cardinals. Derek with the basketball. Gatson drives, puts up a shot, one-hander, no good. Rebound is controlled by the Dragons, and now they're on the run. 3-on-1. Dragons didn't convert. I believe the foul's going to be called on Keandre Derrick. It is on Derrick. It'll be 2 free throws to start the game. We are scoreless. It's going to send DeMarcus Wilson from Carrollton, Texas, 6'4", sophomore, to the free throw line. First free throw is good. That's our first point of the game. Quickly, Chris Blake is into the game. Blake, of course, is averaging 19.4 points a game and is the second leading scorer in the conference. Didn't get the start today, but he's quickly into the game. Second free throw is also good. Stretch Watson with the basketball. Chris Blake now controls. Gatson drives, trapped on the baseline and turns it over. Not a lot of good happens, Michael, when you get trapped along the baseline.
No, sir. You need to know where you're going before you go.
Soft jumper, good. Nice shot by Bryce Cartwright. Four-0 Paris. 4-0 start for the Dragons.
Cardinals have yet to get a very clean look at the basket.
I think Watson and Blake thought they were going to do the alley. Watson thought they were going to do an alley-oop that time, and Blake wasn't on the same page. They wind up turning it over, and then Blake gets called for the foul. And we're going to have a sub also. We're going to have Jeff Stubbs, a 6'0 freshman out of Jackson, Mississippi, checking in to the game. And Isaiah Rusher's also going to check into the game for the Cardinals.
Rusher brings some size with him now at 6'9".
Yes, he does. And he's definitely a talent inside. When he's on his game, boy, he's just as good as there is on the floor. King trapped along the baseline, finally gets it out for the Dragons. Cartwright running the offense, dishes into the corner. Three-point attempt, no good, rebounded by Rusher. Didn't have to jump to get that rebound. Cardinals looking for their first points. We're about 4 minutes into the game, 3.5 minutes into the game. Rusher spins down low. Watson, Stretch Watson comes through with the first points for the Cardinals with 16:45 mark. 4-2. We expect this one to be just close all the way. Nice job down low, but he can't get the shot to fall by King. Now Cartwright with the basketball for the Dragons. Good crowd here today at Cardinal Gym. Good Saturday afternoon crowd. Ten on the shot clock. Oh, great job. A block, I believe, that time by Rusher, as we saw Hammond take it to the goal hard and strong.
And the ball didn't hit the rim, Benny, so there's only 4 seconds on the shot clock.
Got to quickly get a shot off. And the Dragons failed to convert on that, and then the Cardinals turn it over. Cardinals turn it over.
That's their third turnover early, Benny.
Stallings just loses the ball. He goes off his foot out of bounds, and the ball will go back to the Dragons, leading 4-2, 15:55. I would have thought we've had a pretty fast pace, Michael. We just haven't had a lot of scoring. Oh, wide open underneath. Cardinals got to shore that up. I'll guarantee you, Desmond King just got free underneath, and Pat Smith doesn't like that at all, I'll promise you. Chris Blake gets the ball down low to Rusher. Rusher, no good. Shot won't fall. Loose ball down low, controlled by the Dragons. Little ragged right now. Stallings comes up with a steal for the Cardinals. Cardinals got to convert these stops into points. Stubbs thought about it. Hard pass inside, goes off Rusher's fingers, and it's going to go out of bounds, and the ball's going to belong to the Dragons.
That was a good idea. Rusher just couldn't handle that pass. That was going pretty hot.
It was. It sure was. 6-2, 15:05 left in the first half. Just not a good pace scoring-wise right now. Three-pointer from the top of the key, no good. DeMarcus Wilson, rebound controlled by Keandre Derrick. Cardinals haven't developed any kind of rhythm to their offense just yet, Michael.
The transition defense for both teams are excellent right now.
Oh, going to have an offensive foul. Forbes is going to be called on the pick.
And I think Coach Smith is going to call it 30-second.
We do. Pat
Timeout.
Smith is calling a 30-second timeout for the Cardinals. They're down 6-2, just haven't developed anything on the offensive end. 14-18 left in the first half. See Pat Smith visiting with the Cardinals in the huddle.
Well, both teams are playing very well on the defensive end. Even though Paris has 6 points, they've looked a little discombobulated on the offensive on their offensive end themselves. They've gone deep into the shot clock several times.
You see the Paris huddle. Coach Tom Sherberth in his first year at Paris, visiting with the Dragons. They've had a very great season in his first season. Mentioned they're number 20 in the nation, 12-2 in the conference, setting the pace in the Region 14 North Zone. You'd think they'd really have to fall apart not to get one of the 2 byes in the first round of the regional tournament. Resuming play, it's going to be Paris's ball, 14-18. Left in the half. Well, Isaiah Rusher did a great job of coming in and causing all kind of mass confusion inside on the drive that time by Justin Hammond. Left no option for him.
That was great help defense off of the trap.
Exploring the Cardinal offense. Unforced error off the fingertips out of the hands of Jeremy Holmes.
Well, once again, the shot clock is down to 6, Benny.
There you go. That's good defense by the Cardinals. But the thing about it is, Michael, on the offensive end now, they've got to develop some kind of rhythm or flow to it because he just hasn't had any yet. They need to develop an inside-out game. Stubbs over to Blake.
Blake, nice to see him get off.
But I have a hand check. That's a ticky-tack foul there, I guess you could say. Gadsden's going to go back into the offense and run the offense, I should say, for the Cardinals. Checking in for Stubbs. Blake needs to get on track for the Cardinals, of course. He's averaging 19.4 points a game. Well, Gadsden cleared out a little room with that arm, Michael, but he wasn't called.
They got him the second time.
Yeah, he got away with it once, but not the second time. Offensive foul on Darius Gadsden. I don't think Darius thought that was a foul, but one of the 2 definitely was.
The Cardinals look a little stagnant off the ball, Benny. Underneath the basket, they're having trouble running anything to get anybody free. A little bit too much standing around off the ball, waiting for the guard to break down the defense.
Well, just really not a good start. 6-2, 13-minute mark of the first half. 2 points, that's not a good pace. Now we're going to have an offensive foul the other way. This one's going to be called on the Tay Darden. He's averaging 9.3 rebounds a game. He's a 6'8 sophomore from Virginia Beach, Virginia, for the Dragons. Now, the Cardinals got to do something, whatever it takes to get the offense in gear. Good.
There we go.
That's a good job there. Stubbs caught Keandre Derrick flashing across the lane and he cut to the goal for the easy layup. That can be something that you can look for in the future, too.
See, in that time, the Cardinals had movement off the ball. Derrick flashed into the lane and it was able to score.
Holmes with the basketball. Over to Wilson, underneath. 3-pointer outside. Tony Smith missed the 3-pointer. Dragons control the basketball. Making the most of this possession. Now they want to get points. Oh, great job. No look pass to the Tay Darden. Doesn't get the bucket, draws the foul, but a nice job that time by Tony Smith on the pass. Going to bring Isaiah Rusher back into the game for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that foul is on Forbes, and it wasn't up top. Anybody who was watching on top, he got his hand down on the Paris player's hip. riding him out of bounds there as he went up.
And that's 2 on Forbes quickly in the game, and he's coming out for a rusher. First free throw attempt was no good. Second's also no good. Rebound is controlled by Stretch Watson.
Well, Watson's been active to begin the game.
Chris Blake needs to get going. Drives the baseline, puts it up, no good. The ball is tipped out of bounds. Going to belong to the Cardinals. Again, you got Chris Blake, who is averaging 19.4 a game, and he's scoreless almost 9 minutes into the game, 8 minutes into the game, Michael. That's not a good sign for the Cardinals.
I tell you what, you have to be a man to go up to the rim in this game on both ends of the court. There you go.
There's Chris Blake, a little nice 10-foot jumper from the baseline off the inbounds play, and we're tied at 6-6.
That was a pretty little play off that set play.
He's got a nice shot. Cardinals defensively have got to be pretty pleased. Just on the offensive end, they haven't been able to manage much, but maybe that's a start.
That's a turnover.
Got a turnover, traveling call against the Dragons.
I know what you mean, Benny. You feel like the Cardinals have really been struggling, but you're now looking, we're almost 9 minutes into the game, and you look up and the score's tied, 6-6. The TBCC's got to be pretty happy about that.
Well, you would think so. Of course, Parrish has just got 6 points too this deep into the game, so, you know, there's no harm, no foul. Stubbs with the basketball over the Stretch. Stubbs puts up a three-pointer, in and out. Well, that ball was halfway down, came right back out. Derek thought about going for the steal, backed off of it just in time. Shot almost went twice off the drive of Vermeil. No good though. Gennaro Vermeil was the shot. Dragons control the basketball. Now we have a timeout. Paris is going to call a timeout. 30-second timeout by the Dragons.
Boy, Rusher was really working hard underneath the basket against Eccles. There's a battle going down in that lane right now, Benny.
We talked about earlier in the pregame show, the women's game, where we had a 7-inch snow here in Athens this week, and some of it's still on the ground, of course, today. But I was looking on Stretch Watson's Facebook page, and he said, I guess Thursday afternoon, that the football team and the basketball team had a snowball fight. And this is unofficially, but Stretch declared the basketball team the winner. Surprise, surprise. So if the football team's listening, I'm certainly not claiming that.
I was going to say, I'm sure we could look around in the stands and find one of the Cardinal football players who might have a different idea.
Might have a different idea. We're going to resume play at 6-6, 10:36 left in the first half. Low-scoring first half. But these two teams are both explosive and could turn it on at any minute. But defenses may be going to dominate today. Watson defending along the baseline against Eccles. Shots up, no good. Chris Blake on the rebound, and he's on the move.
Oh,
nice move. Nice crossover move, dribble move. Chris Blake with the layup, and now he's got 4 quick points, and the Cardinals have an 8-6 lead.
Boy, he set the defense up with that little hesitation, and he was in the lane.
Chris Blake will definitely play at the next level. Almost a turnover. Great job. Cardinal defense is really moving, Michael. I mean, we're at the 10-minute mark, and we're 8-6, which is low scored, but it has a lot to do with the way the defense is playing.
The defense are playing. Yeah, Stubbs got his hands on that one down in the lane, and the Cardinals are really active in the lane right now. They're not giving up an inch without a fight down there.
Cedric McBounds, number 50, a 6'7" sophomore out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, checks into the game for the Dragons. Dragons working the ball around the perimeter. Finally a drive, kick back out. Stretch Watson battling and coming up with the rebound. Derek on the drive and Rusher on the tip, but I believe they're going to call offensive interference.
That's a good call. He tried to keep his hands on it, but his momentum just took him into it.
It did. And I think the shot was going to fall in
I think the shot was going to fall.
8-6.
Yep.
Going to have an offensive foul. Cardinals got a break there because the Dragons had an advantage down low. The foul's going to be called on Desmond King, 6'6" sophomore, Alexandria, Louisiana.
Number 44, Desmond King.
16 fouls on the Cardinals, 4 on the Dragons. Stubbs in running the offense for the Cardinals. Takes it all the way, puts it up, and that ball is slapped away by a mile by Justin Hammond. Great job by Hammond.
That looked close to goaltending.
Darius Gatson checks back in to run the offense for the Cardinals.
And here's that offensive goal. Oh, no, that's defensive goaltending right there.
Turnover
It
by the
didn't get
Cardinals.
called, but it sure looked like that ball was on the way down to me.
Turnover by the Cardinals. Leading 8-6. There might be some steps in there that time on the drive by Hammond. Wasn't called. Seven seconds on the shot clock. The ball remains with the Dragons. At halftime, we'll have the Cardettes performing and the Cardinal cheerleaders performing. We'll let you enjoy that.
But the Cardinals are certainly giving the Dragons no free passes to the basket today.
No, both teams have played great on the defensive end, made both teams work. 5 on the shot clock. Forced three-pointer, no good. Rebound by Stretch Watson. Cardinals on the run. Darius Gatson. Over to Blake. Blake on the attack. Goes to Stallings to Stretch. Stretch in the corner. Stretch lobs to Rusher. Oh, I think Isaiah
Looked like
might have
Rusher
been
got held.
He got held that time, but it wasn't called. Great block by Watson. Great job by Isaiah. He knew he was held. He looked around at the official. Of course, he didn't say anything, but I don't think there was any question that Cedric McBounce grabbed his jersey. And we have a timeout called by Paris, another Paris timeout. 8:15 left in the first half. 8-6 Cardinals.
Okay, we're gonna look back here. And right there, Stretch Watson is being just amazing on the defensive end. And this is the Blake's crossover. How he set it up right there and blew by Cartwright, and then it comes right back again.
He definitely set up the defender.
And there is Derek coming in. And this is where Rusher got called for the offensive goaltending. You could see the ball was still in the cylinder. I think that ball probably would have fell without Rusher, but he was just hustling after the ball, and his momentum just took him in, Benny.
Yeah, his momentum he just couldn't stop. He had the momentum going. So we're at 8-6. 8:15 left in the first half.
I tell you, Stretch Watson is having an outstanding first half. He is just playing out of his mind right now on the defensive end. He's being a man down inside, keeping the Dragons out. He's taking care of the offensive boards, and he's going after every loose ball.
You can count on Stretch giving you 110 every game. I'll promise you that, and he certainly has in the first half today. Inbounds play for the Dragons. They have to push the ball back out to the top of the key. A great anticipation by Chris Blake and a steal. Takes it up for a layup, dishes off to Gatson. Gatson no good. Blake back in. Yeah, nice job by the Cardinals there, up 10-6. Blake and Gatson on the give back and the put back. Well, the Cardinals just working on the the defensive end, about like they did the night we saw them almost beat Navarro over Corsicana back in early January. They're just playing shutdown defense.
And that's always been a hallmark of Coach Smith's teams.
10-6. Yeah, the Dragons did a good job of getting the ball down low that time to Desmond King for the bucket.
King did a real nice job sealing off the defense so that he could create a passing lane there.
Stallings to Rusher. Cardinals turned the ball over. Oh, the Cardinals didn't. McBounds, yeah, McBounds. They lost track of McBounds, and he got position and got the rebound in the tip and the putback. 10-10, we're tied again. Gatson on the drive, soft one-handed jumper off the glass is good. Bucket's going to count. The bucket's going to count, but there's going to be a foul called on the Cardinals, on Gatson.
Okay, on this, Gatson gets in there, and you see the ball left his hands before the foul, so the basket's going to count, and then Gatson's going to get called for the foul underneath on the push.
I think that's Gatson's second, yes, his second
foul. That's a very hard call sometimes for people to see because the basket counts as well as the guy that shot the ball got the foul. Sometimes it's a hard one to see.
Not a player control foul. At the free throw line is going to be Cedric McBounds, a 6'7" sophomore out of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
So Paris is already in the bonus.
Misses the free throw. Rebound by King, puts it up, no good, and there's going to be a foul called. This one's going to go against Isaiah Rusher, number 52 for the Cardinals. He's going to see DeCario Tidwell is going to check into the game for the first time for the Cardinals, a 6'6" freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina. King's going to go to the free throw line. Going to shoot 2. First one's good. 12-11. Point went on the wrong side of the scoreboard on the main scoreboard in the gym. We should be tied at 12-12. 12-12's our score. And we have a Cardinal turnover.
And they get it right back, Benny.
Great job. Oh,
what
my goodness,
pass.
what a play. What a play by Stallings on his back. Spots Keandre Derrick cutting to the goal for the layup and a 14-12 Cardinal lead. That is just a great basketball play right there.
How did he even see that pass, Benny?
Stretch Watson with the rebound. To Keandre Derrick. They tried to force one there. Turnover by the Cardinals. Didn't have to have that pass. Trying to make something happen, though.
Yeah, that gets Blake up off the bench.
Nice drive. Bad defense by the Cardinals. Jeremy Holmes saw opening and he exploited it. We're tied again at 14-14, coming up on the 5-minute mark of the first half. Watson is going to be fouled by Justin Hammond. We have some words being spoken out on the floor between Stretch, Watson, and Ramal, but the players separate them. Be the Cardinals ball underneath. Inbounds to Blake, puts it up, no good. Rebound controlled by King.
kickball.
Have a kickball. 4:51 left in the first half. Harris working the ball around the perimeter. Alley-oop time. Great job, execution. DeMarcus Wilson on a great pass from Tony Smith, and the Dragons are back in the lead, 16-14.
That was pretty.
It was pretty. Loose ball, out of bounds, stays with the Cardinals. Gatson back into the game for the Cardinals. Having trouble getting it in. They finally spot Stretch Watson and get it in bounds. Ooh, Chris Blake with a nice move and hits the jumper, and Pat Smith is going to call a timeout, a quick timeout. Ties us at 16-16. It's going to be a full timeout. (16-16), full timeout by the Cardinals. 3:59 left in the first half.
I think we're going to get a chance to see that pass by Stallings. And here you see Stallings going to the ground, rolls over, and somehow sees Derrick cutting to the basket right there for two. Boy, he had eyes in the back of his head on that play, Benny.
That was beautiful there. That was beautiful.
And here Blake is finishing off in the lane, but what was really cool about that was the way he set that up with that behind the back dribble. That's 2 times now that Blake's done that. Once with a behind the back dribble and once with the crossover that's just left Paris defender clueless.
I know we're just at 16-16 with 3:59 left in the first half. Before this game, it's just been filled with some big plays.
It seemed a lot more exciting than the 16-16 game.
Like
it
we're
really
got
does.
like a 40-40 game at halftime or something, based on the action that we've seen and the plays that we've seen made.
Well, and I love to watch defensive basketball, and the TVCC's been. And here, that's that play again where that's that play again with Blake. We were trying to get the behind the back dribble, but he was even too fast for the cameras, people, and that's pretty quick.
Coming out of the timeout, we're at 16-16 with 3:59 left in the first half. Ball does belong to the Dragons. Cardinals with the pressing defense. Looking for the trap. Harris gets the ball down. Any problems? Here are the Cardinal cheerleaders leading the crowd. And we've seen a lot of defense so far today by both teams. Great spin moving jumper. Not going to fall, but going to get the slam by Latae Darden off the drive by DeMarcus Wilson. Nice job by the Dragons. Tidwell dishes off to Stretch Watson. Blocked. Nice block by Desmond King.
That was a good look by Tidwell, though.
Coming up on the 3-minute mark. Stretch Watson with the steal. Bats it to Blake. Cardinals have numbers. Blake takes it all the way. Doesn't get it to fall. We have a jump ball, and the ball is going to belong to the Cardinals. That was a nice play not to have a better ending than it did.
Paris defense forced Blake to go to the left hand, and he just couldn't finish.
Cardinals with the inbounds. Need to get it in. Get it in to Chris Blake. Blake trapped in the corner, drives the baseline. Offensive foul, Chris Blake.
He dribbled into a triple team that time and just didn't have any magic to get out of that.
And there are any options either. You're right. He went into the triple team. That's not going to. Rarely is that going to result in a good decision for you. Harris looking to build on his 2-point lead. Wilson, the three-pointer, no good. Rebound by Gatson. And that's a foul Wilson wishes he could have back there. He's flat-footed and did all reaching.
And that's going to put Gatson at the line.
No, I think that's just the 16th foul. Yeah, they got it up there quick for you. I think that's just the 16th foul. Cardinals wouldn't turn you down, though, if they had an option.
I'm telling you.
(18-16), 2:35 and counting. Low-scoring half. Great defense being played. Both ends. Gatson the stretch. Stretch to Chris Blake. Stallings with the three. No good, out of bounds, batted away by Tidwell. You know, both these teams, both of them would like to have a little spurt here, because in this kind of game, a spurt might be all you need.
I was just going to say, we're down to 2 minutes. It's going to be an important part of the game here. How you start halves and how you finish them are so key.
Dragons trying to find an opening in the Cardinal defense. Three-pointers up and no good. Hadn't been a three-point type game. Cartwright put up the shot. There's Chris Blake putting up a three. Oh, he just barely caught the bottom of the net. Stretch Watson tried to save it, but he stepped on the end line. So the ball will go over to Paris. Just hasn't been a game, the three-pointer just hasn't been a factor in it, Michael.
No, but when Blake put that up, he was right in front of us, and it sure looked like a nice stroke. I thought that one was going to fall.
Had the right angle on it, just not enough to the shot. Under 2 minutes, well under 2 minutes, 1:24 and counting. There's a great steal by Stallings to Derrick. Derrick takes it all the way, can't get it to fall. Blake can't get the rebound. Now the Dragons are on the attack, and that's going to be a travel. Yeah, Cartwright tried to make a move, jump stop, and got called for the travel. It's going to bring Gennaro Vermal back into the game, number 23 for the Dragons.
You get that feeling that both teams know how important this is and how important this time is, and they're pushing a little bit, and they're maybe a little bit tight on both ends.
Gatson with the basketball. Out to Blake. Blake uses a pick by Stretch. Puts up a shot. In and out. Rebound is controlled by Darden for the Dragons. Dragons on the move. Under a minute left in the first half. Low scoring first half. I think it's been a foul's going to be called on Stallings, Reggie Stallings for the Cardinals, battling down low. Michael, I think the folks will look at this and say, boy, both offenses have been inept in this game, but I think it's been a case of both defenses being at the top of their game.
And that's what just got you that foul down there. Stallings and Darden were really going at it, battling hard in the paint, trying to get position, and the referee just got Stallings for a little bit too much. But you're right, that's what I'm thinking. It's all defense here.
First free throw is good. 3-point game, 19-16. 34 seconds left in the first half. Cardinals will have the option of playing for the final shot of the half if they so choose. Second free throw is no good. Controlled by Blake, so the Cardinals have it with 30 seconds left, trailing by 3, 19-16. Chris Blake drives the baseline, puts up the shot. Shot is blocked. controlled by the Cardinals. Still 18 seconds left. Stallings to Stretch Watson. Stallings puts up the shot. Can't get it to fall. 5 seconds. Paris still has time to get something done here. Running three-pointer at the buzzer is no good. And we're going to be at halftime with our score, 19 for the Dragons and 16 for the Cardinals. And welcome back to Cardinal Gymnasium for the second half of the men's game. We got Paris up 19-16 at halftime. A very defensive, strong, as I was putting that phrase that way. First half, both defenses from both teams just dominated. I mean, they really did. It wasn't a case of offenses being inept. Both defenses really got after it and caused havoc. Did a great job. We're at 19-16. I have a couple other halftime scores in the men's race to pass along to you. At halftime, it is Navarro 46, Bossier Parish 32. We figured Navarro wouldn't have much problem in that game. And also in the at halftime, it's Lon Morris 35 and Kilgore 22. I'm Benny Rodgers, the Assistant Public Information Officer at Trinity Valley Community College. I'm joined today by Michael Hannigan, the editor of the Malakoff News. And Michael, I don't know how you can sum up that first half anymore by just saying defense, defense, defense.
And very good defense. I mean, Benny was very clean. One of the things I was just looking at and kind of jumped up and hit me is TVCC doesn't have a free throw.
No free throw.
Did not go to the line.
Wow.
And that's really amazing considering how hard they were going at it.
It really is. That surprised me. I didn't realize that. I saw the same first half you did, but it just didn't stick out at me that the Cardinals hadn't gone to the free throw line.
Well, and that was the thing, that the defense was also clean. I mean, the referees did a nice job of making sure that it didn't get too physical. The two teams are playing defense with their feet. They're playing team defense. They're playing help defense. This is really a clinic that we're seeing.
It has been so far. I'd like to welcome you all to the Cardinal Sports Network. All you Paris fans, we know you're joining today, watching your athletes and maybe in some cases your sons play, and we enjoy having you. Of course, all Cardinal fans, we appreciate your support throughout the course of the season. We'll be on next Saturday with a doubleheader. The Lady Cardinals will be against Sanjack at 2, and the men will be playing Navarro here at 4. We'll have both games for you next Saturday, and we're underway in the second half. Paris looking to build a 19-16 lead. Little motion offense now by the Dragons. Pull-up jumper, no good. Rebounded by Chris Blake.
Yeah, that was a little different look coming out of half for Paris.
It was. Cartwright put up the jumper. See what the Cardinals do here. They try to get the ball down low to Forbes. They do. And he's going to be called with the offensive foul right off the bat.
And that's his third, Benny.
Yeah. Cardinals need Adrian Forbes in the game, but that's going to bring him to the bench, I'm pretty sure, as Isaiah Rusher is coming in off the bench.
Well, Rusher had a really nice first half, though. He played well, just like everybody else on the defensive end of the floor.
Have another halftime score. Tyler is ahead of Panola, 43-32. And, of course, the Cardinals will be on the road Wednesday at Carthage against Panola. Oh, the Dragons did a nice job of getting the ball down low that time to Derek Eccles. They forced the issue and come away with points, and now they enjoy a 21-16 lead. It is time the Cardinal offense produces. Need Chris Blake to really get going here in the second half, I think, for the Cardinals to have a really good shot. He's trapped here. Stallings with the basketball, back over to Blake, to Stretch Watson. Now out front to Gatson. Trying to get the ball down low to Chris Blake, but is batted out of bounds. 21-16. Cardinals inbound underneath. Stretch Watson. Back out to Gatson. Gatson with a drive. Oh, he's just hammered. Foul's going to be called on Desmond King, and that's going to send Gatson to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
Yeah, Gatson saw that little crease in the lane and took it straight to the hole. You can see him curling off the shoulder. Well, we got it a little early, but he curled off the shoulder, saw a gap in the lane, and took it straight to the iron.
Gatson misses the free throw, 21-16.
When we said they didn't shoot any free throws in the first half, now we're to the line.
Now to the line. That's what they got to have. They got to get to the line, but they got to hit them, though. It's one thing to get to the line, it's another to hit them. Gatson's second free throw does fall, 21-17. Oh, nice give and go. Dragons can't convert, but they get a turnover out of it. What sure looks like Paris is playing with a lot more enthusiasm on offense here in attacking the Cardinal defense. A lot more focus, too, I should say. 21-17. Pass underneath, no good. Oh, I believe the Cardinals will get called for a foul there.
I think they got Stallings with a hold.
Yeah, King missed the shot, and on the rebound, Stallings is going to be called for the foul. There's 2 quick fouls against the Cardinals here to start the second half. Dragons get the ball in. Offensive foul going to be called away from the ball. It's going to be called on Derek Eccles.
And that's his third, should be. They say 2, though.
Gatson on the offensive control for the Cardinals, running with the ball. Cardinals need a good offensive set here. Get the ball down low to Rusher. Rusher puts up a soft jumper, no good. Rebounded and controlled by Derek Eccles.
Boy, I'd sure like to see Rusher go hard to the hole with that.
Oh, boy, Stretch Watson
Big play
got
by
away
Stretch.
with one there. He blocked it, but it sure looked like there was a lot of contact. Rusher down low. Going to be called. The foul's going to be called. I don't think Paris coach Tom Schubert's too excited about that call that Watson wasn't called, and now his team gets called on the other end, but that's the way it goes sometimes in basketball.
Let's see if we can get a decent shot off the impound play here.
Get the ball down low to Rusher. He gives and go to Blake. Blake puts it up and in and
That's
fouled and draws the foul, and now Tom Schubert is definitely not happy for Paris. Kind of kicked his chair there a little bit in disgust of the officiating, I think, at this point. Either that or the defense played by his team, so I guess it's...
Well, that was a great pass by Rusher for a
was.
post to make that pass inside. Let's watch Rusher, number 52. He's going to find Blake. He found Blake in the lane cutting, and we saw the end of it there with Blake going up where he drew the foul and scored the bucket.
Blake's going to be at the free throw line. See Tom Schubert there in front of the Paris bench. Free throw is good.
That's 11 on the game for Blake.
And he had a quiet start to the game.
He did.
21-20. Very low scoring game. And we have a timeout called by Paris. It'll be a 30-second timeout by the Dragons. 21-20, 17-12 left in the game.
Well, Paris certainly came out with a lot of energy, Benny. They came out with a little more of a motion offense. It seemed like it caught TVCC by surprise. And Paris was able to get some things going early, but TVCC's come right back with the same energy. And after Paris was able to score a couple of points, TVCC was able to come down and answer right back.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Michael.
Thank you, sir.
Again, both TVCC teams will be on the road Wednesday at Carthage against Panola. Game times 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. And then both teams will be at home next Saturday. We'll webcast both games. The Lady Cardinals play Sanjack at 2, and the Cardinals, of course, play Navarro in the big showdown at 4 p.m.
That's going to be a huge game.
Three-point attempt, good. Drains it to Marcus Wilson. That's a three-pointer, and that puts him up 24-20. Really nice shot that time. Stretch Watson with the basketball. Now to Stallings. Stallings is trapped, tries to throw the ball down low to Rusher, but instead throws it out of bounds, and that's a turnover the Cardinals really didn't need.
No. Well, Derek and Stubbs are coming in, and Derek is averaging 13 points a game. So that's some an offensive boost that the TBCC can use right now.
And he needs to get going, you're right. Cardinals with a trap. Holmes does a good job of getting the ball across the timeline. Shot clock at 3. Forced three-pointer, in and out, no good. Rebound to Rusher for the Cardinals.
That was a nice defensive possession for the Cardinals. Just what they needed right there.
Yeah, got to follow it up with some offense now. Blake is trapped. Gets the ball down low to a Stretch. Stretch puts it up. Shot is short. Back go the Dragons. Oh, great job that time. We go 2-on-1, and Justin Hammond got the layup. Cardinals got to be real careful right here. Real careful.
Biggest lead of the game, isn't it, at 6?
It is. Stubbs with the basketball. Spots Blake. Blake puts up the 3. In and out, no good. Doesn't follow it, and the ball goes to the Dragons. And, man, this is just a critical point here for the Cardinals, I would say.
Coach Smith has got Forbes up off the bench.
Three-pointer, good. Wilson hits it. Boy, suddenly this game's getting out of hand. Pat Smith wants a full timeout, and very understandable he'd want this timeout because, wow, just like that, the Dragons show you why they're leading the North Zone.
Well, and Paris has really been able to find something in the second half, the first 5 minutes of this second half. They're able to get open shots from the wing and from the three-point area that they weren't able to get in the first half. It looks like what's happening is the Paris Dragons are breaking down the TBCC defense by starting the drive, but they have no intention of finishing the drive. They're kicking straight back out, going inside out, but instead of doing it with posts and guards, the guards are going inside, drawing the defense, and then kicking back for the shot.
And as we mentioned in the first half, the three-pointer didn't come into play in the first half, but now here in the second half, we see that Paris has really been successful with it, and they're really making the Cardinals pay, and they've opened up a 9-point lead with 14:59 left in the game.
We didn't have a three-pointer in the first half. Wilson has 2 in the first 5 minutes of the second.
You see Pat Smith visiting with the Cardinals, and I can assure you he's saying we can't leave Wilson uncovered out beyond the three-point circle.
No, you leave these Paris, these Dragons with that kind of time to line up the shot on the three-point line, that's going to be trouble.
It will be. There's a reason they're number 20 in the nation, and they're leading the North Zone of Region 14 Conference.
The Cardinals on the offensive end have to get somebody other than Blake going. I mean, Blake has 11 of the Cardinals' 20 points. So it would be really good to see if Derek or Watson could start to add to the offensive end.
Yeah, someone's going to have to. Of course, you know, Forbes is back in the game. He's just been a non-factor because he's been in foul trouble for most of the game. So they've got him back on the floor, and I know Pat Smith knows they're going to have his presence inside. Stubbs on the attack, layup, no good, but he's going to be fouled. That's what you got to do. You got to force the action, but you're going to have to hit the free throws. It's one thing to get the foul called. It's another to make the free throws.
Yeah, Stubbs goes right after the basket here, drives off of that pick, and goes in and picks up the foul right there. Like you said, you'd sure like to finish at that point down 9, and you certainly can't miss the front end.
And that's just exactly what Stubbs did that time. Missed the front end of the free throw, double bonus. I mean, the two-shot foul. Second one is good. 8-point game. Cardinals got to really call on their defense now. Got to have stops and points. Stops and points.
Well, there's still plenty of time left in the game. There's still plenty of time for the Cardinals, but they need to stop the bleeding and show that they can stop Paris at this point.
Three-pointer, Wilson, got it. You leave him uncovered, folks, he's just going to kill you.
That's three.
32-21. This one's starting to slip away. Paris with the turnover and the drive. Wilson knocks it in. Wilson single-handedly knocking the Cardinals out of this one, and Pat Smith's got to call another timeout. This is a 30-second timeout, and the Cardinals are going to get Pat's best, I think, during this timeout.
Well, that's 11 points to start the second half for Wilson, including 3 threes, and it's the same thing, that shot that he just had down here in the corner. Here you can see Wilson after the steal taking it right at the bucket. But where he's done his damage is on the three-point line. He's made them from all over. He's made it from both corners and from the top. And it's that same play where Paris is able to have the Cardinal defense collapse and then kick it back out to Wilson. He's got all day long to line up the shot, and since he's been doing that, he's been knocking it down. 3 for 3 to start this half. 11 points.
Well, Michael, I got the feeling right now just the Cardinals are kind of teetering on the edge.
Yeah.
They've just got to be real careful right here because Paris is so strong and so talented that this could get away here before we even reach the 10-minute mark. Chris Blake puts up the soft one-handed jumper, no good, controlled by the Dragons. They're on the run. There's Wilson. Bet you he doesn't get many more open shots. If he does, Pat Smith may be out on the floor with him.
There it is.
Wilson got it. Just as I said it, look at Pat Smith. He turns around and says, what do we got to do to get somebody out there on him? Blake drives. He's going to be fouled. He's going to get 2 free throw attempts. 37-21. Man, DeMarcus Wilson has come alive here in the second half for the Dragons, a 6'4" sophomore out of Carrollton, Texas.
Well, it's not going to matter too much what TVCC does on the offensive end if they can't shut Wilson down on their end.
Xavier Williamson has checked into the game for the Cardinals. He's a three-point shooting specialist, too. He needs to get hot for the Cardinals. Stretch Watson puts up the shot and is fouled, going to shoot 2 free throws. I believe that's McBounds on the foul. It's going to send Stretch to the free throw line. Stretch has had a quiet game.
He's got 2 points.
Yeah, scoring-wise. They need him to get about 10 or 11 here in the second half.
He was very, very active in the first half, playing defensively.
First free throw is good. It started to get away from the Cardinals. They definitely need to get some stops now. They're going to somebody's going to have to account for DeMarcus Wilson because, boy, he's just shooting them out of this game. Second free throw finds its way through the net. 14-point game. Not out of reach, but certainly going to have to step it up.
Watson's wide open on the wing again. Calling for the ball, but they didn't get it to him.
Paris has slowed it down a little bit. Holmes running the offense. Shot clock at 10. There's Wilson, a three-pointer. In and out. Thought that one was going to go down. Rusher tried to grab the rebound, loses it out of bounds, and the ball is going to go over to Paris. So Paris is going to get another possession out of it.
Boy, Wilson's shot sailed every part of the rim except the bottom of it.
Dragons have almost scored as many points here in the second half as they had in the first half when they had 19. They've got 18 this half, Michael. And we're just
7 minutes.
7 minutes, yeah. Loose ball controlled by the Dragons. And they're going to have a travel violation by Jeremy Holmes. Reggie Stallings checks into the game for the Cardinals.
Well, right now, as you've said all day long, when you get those turnovers, you need to really convert and make something happen on the other end for it to be useful. And when you're down by 14 points, doubly so.
Cardinals are going to have to find a way to find a little three-point prowess, too. Gatson pulls up. They just can't buy anything right now. Just can't buy anything. That's not a good combination when Paris is hitting almost everything.
So right now, that rim looks about the size of Texas Stadium to Wilson.
Holmes with the ball out front. Shot clock is down to 10. Ball goes out of bounds off of Latay Darden. It's going to belong to the Cardinals.
That's the second straight turnover.
Gatson running the offense for the Cardinals. Gets it to Williamson. Williamson down low to Rusher. To Stretch. Stretch puts up the jumper and got it. Got to have that from Stretch. Jumper from the free throw line. 12-point game. The Cardinals can definitely get back in this one. Going to take a lot of defense. Got a timeout on the floor. Going to be charged to Paris. It's going to be a full timeout. Full timeout charged to the Dragons.
Well, like you said, Benny, we've got almost 12 minutes left in the game, and TVCC is only down 12. There's plenty of time to get back into this game. The Cardinals really have to solidify their defense. And the last couple of times down, they've been able to force a turnover. They've been able to identify where Wilson is and shut him down. And so that's good. And on the offensive end, that Stretch hitting that jump shot from the free throw line was really encouraging. If he can get a couple of those going, then maybe things will open up a little bit more for Derek.
No question about it. See if we have some more scores coming in here. Sanjak is leading Lee at the half, 42-23. Texting is a great thing when it comes to getting each other's scores on Saturdays. I will tell you that. Times have really changed. See what else we have here. Doesn't look like there's anything else new coming in. No, that's pretty much it. That's the halftime scores. Of course, we said Tyler was beating Panola 43-32, and the Cardinals next will play Panola Wednesday in Carthage. Back to play. Alley-oop time, good. Well, is there anything else DeMarcus Wilson's going to do today, Michael? Because he sure got that slam on the alley-oop.
That the only thing left for him to do is pack the bus for Paris.
39-25. Great second half by DeMarcus Wilson for the Dragons. Three-point attempt for the Cardinals, no good. Stallings. Well, this Paris team is very good. Cardinals got a nice road win them over them back in December, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen here today. Three-point attempt, no good by Wilson. He's got to be a little bit winded out there, I would think, just a little bit. Had an active second half.
I was just thinking that alley-oop is his second of the game.
That's right. We had one in the first half, didn't we? Mm-hmm. And there's a turnover. Ball goes off of Williamson, out of bounds. Pat Smith's really frustrated with his team right now. At halftime, had things under control. We're down 19-16, but man, it's gotten away from them here in the second half.
You know, it's time like this, the coaches will tell their team, don't worry about the score. We want to take it one possession at a time, and I think that's where the Cardinals are right now. They got to play this defensive possession and not worry about the scoreboard. Just D up.
They're definitely going to have a heavy dose of defense.
Paris is in no hurry right now.
Derek got a hand on the ball, but they couldn't come away with a steal. Now we have a turnover. Wilson that time turned it over, palmed it.
Paris seemed in no hurry to try to get the shot off that time, then using all the shot clock with a 14-point lead.
Got to be careful doing that, though, because that can come back to bite you, too, if you get out of your offensive rhythm, man. I've seen that happen to the Cardinals a couple of times this year when they've had double-digit leads in the second half. This time the foul's going to be called on Holmes. It's always a tough call, I think, as a coach when your team's going to pull the foot off the pedal just a little bit.
You know, that foul has got to really make sure unhappy. His team's got a 14-point lead. You make a foul out at midcourt. You put Cardinals on the line with a chance to score with no clock running.
That's the way you come back if you're the Cardinals, but you don't want to see it if you're the Dragons, of course. Free throw, good. Second free throw by Darius Gatson. It's also good. 12-point game. Cardinals with pressure defense in the backcourt. Pass underneath. Great job. Great pass and great move by Eccles underneath. Reverse the layup. Get the points.
There's nothing Rusher can do in that.
Garrett to Forbes. Forbes doesn't get the bucket to fall, the shot to fall, but draws the foul.
Well, that was nice, though. That's one of the first times this half I've seen the Cardinals really start to move off the ball.
And Forbes has no points in the game, so he'll be going for his first points here. .39 left. He gets the free throw to fall. Stretch Watson checks in for Isaiah Rusher. Cardinals just aren't getting any production out of their post players today, point-wise, if you look at it, Michael. I mean, there's just not a lot there to show.
Well, outside of 11 points by Blake, nobody's really stepped up big.
Second free throw is no good. Need a lot of defense. Again, as you said, Paris won't be in a big hurry to score, but they got to take the open shot if they get it. Three-point attempt by Holmes is no good. High off the glass, rebounded by Desmond King, and the fresh shot clock, three-pointer, no good. Controlled by the Cardinals. Stretch Watson puts up a shot from the top of the key, no good. We're going to have a foul called. It's going to be on. Who did they get that to? Derek? I thought he said 24, but I thought he said 44. Now they're calling it on Adrian Forbes. We're both wrong. That's his fourth.
Yeah. Which will bring Rusher back in the game.
Well, Forbes has just been in the wrong place at the wrong time today when it comes to fouls.
Yeah, and that wasn't much of a foul. I don't think the referee would have called it if the Paris player hadn't fallen over.
Probably so. Stretch Watson gets a piece of the ball, denies it, but nice job of staying with it by Desmond King. Paris is just beating the Cardinals to the punch now. Tried to find Blake cutting to the go, but instead it winds up being a turnover.
TVCC has just looked a step slow this entire second half.
Cardinals got to be careful. This will be their poorest offensive output of the season at this rate. Maybe they can find a spurt here in a minute, but they're going to have one. Oh, they can't find it like that. They can't turn King loose underneath like that. He's too strong and too powerful. He doesn't need much room at all. This game is 45-28. Derek, yeah, he took steps. Took the pass from Gatson and took steps and turned it over. Pat Smith's going to have to use another timeout. He's tried everything in the world to try to get the Cardinals back into a rhythm in which they can compete with the Dragons, but so far it just hasn't worked. It's going to be a full timeout, and during this timeout, let's watch and listen to the Cardinal cheerleaders.
That's the 9-time national champion TVCC cheerleaders.
They always do a nice job here entertaining the crowd and keeping the crowd into the game. As you see Pat Smith close up there, really getting onto the squad right now, exhorting them to play defense and to make the most of their offensive trips.
Well, and at this point, when you're late in the season, too, I'm sure that Coach Smith wants to see his team come out and at least give them some kind of effort here this last 7:35. Really put it out on the line and give them everything they've got.
And the thing about it is that it's important for this game of the Cardinals. We talk about they want to keep pace with Navarro, but you look at it, if they were to lose, they would fall into a tie with Tyler. And the problem there is Tyler has beaten the Cardinals twice this year, so they would own head-to-head tiebreaker. If you start falling further and further down the seeds for the regional tournament, you have to play those top seeds. And boy, it's just really a situation for the Cardinals having to win this game. And of course, they got Navarro here next Saturday.
You can really set yourself up for trouble in March with losses in February.
Harris using as much of the clock as they can, looking for the right shot, the open shot, I should say. Boy, it's just coming too easy for him. Derek Eckley's just coming too easy. Pat Smith just squats down in front of the bench. He doesn't know what to do at this point. 47-28, under 7 minutes left in the game. Well, at this rate, Paris is going to even the series with the Cardinals this year. Chris Blake puts up a three-pointer way off the mark. And to make matters worse, it goes off Reggie Stallings underneath. Harris is going to use as much of the shot clock as they can. They want to shorten the game now.
The shot clock version of four corners.
Down to 10, the shot clock. The drive, no good, tapped away, but it's going to be controlled by the Dragons. Fresh 35 on the shot clock, and they can use it if they want to. Looks like they're going to.
Paris is getting to every loose ball. Paris is getting to the rebounds, getting hands on the ball.
Well, basketball sure is a funny sport. The Cardinals are coming off having scored 98 points against Glenn, and now they've just got 28 today with about 5 minutes left in the game. You just never know. Rusher gets the rebound.
Oh, he's just trying to help him up.
He's just going to help him up.
He's just going to help him up.
Everybody got all anxious there, I think, but I believe Isaiah really did have good intentions.
No, he was just going to help him up.
Yeah.
But you know, Will, look, referees, they have a job to make sure that tempers stay under control, and they have a tendency in a blowout game sometimes to get in there real quick.
Yeah, that's true. But there was no doubt that Isaiah was just going to help the kid up that time.
Yeah, he was just being a good sportsman.
Well, Gatson was almost tackled in the back.
I was going to say, look, he almost lost his shorts.
Rusher cutting to the goal, and there again, they grabbed Rusher's jersey on his way to the goal, but nothing was called. But I'm not picking on the officiating because that certainly had been an issue here today.
No. They've actually, I think they've done a very nice job.
They have done a good job. They really have.
Yeah.
47-30, 5:13 counting left in the game.
Well, a few unforced turnovers can help the Cardinals.
Oh, no doubt about it. That's the way the quickest way that a comeback could happen.
But the Cardinals are down 17 with 5 minutes to go, and we still don't have a single three-point basket for the game.
And they're going to oh, there's a turnover there. That's hurting us. Well, there's all kind of contact. They're going to have to get control of that now. They're allowing just a little bit underneath. A lot of bodies on the floor. Going to be a foul called.
Well, with the
Rushers, the foul.
You've got to be happy with the Cardinals hustle on that, though. They got back and trying to defend the basket, even down 17 points.
There was a lot of hustling. There was a lot of hammering going on there.
Well, now sometimes boys will be boys.
At the free throw line, Derek Eccles. First one, no good.
Hey, here we go. Look at the rusher going up for the block, and then everybody's going up. We got a block party trying to go on right there.
They could have called that foul on any of three Cardinals.
Any of three
players.
Cardinals could have picked up that one.
Second free throw attempt is good. In the game is Latay Darden for the Dragons. 48-30. Now we have a timeout. Full timeouts being called and charged to the Dragons.
Well, Benny, the Cardinals are down 18 points with 5 minutes to go, 4:57 to go. But the stretch that really caused the problems were the first 6 minutes of the game, first 6 minutes and a half. Wilson knocked down 3 3-pointers and opened up a 9-point lead.
Yeah, that was that. No question, that was the difference, Michael. And we said at halftime, we talked about the three-pointers not having been a factor, but they were the factor here to start this second half.
Right, Wilson ended up with had 4 3-pointers. I'm sorry, 4 trays in the second half for 12. He's got 20 points for the game, so he's got the 4 threes, plus he's got the 2 backdoor cut alley-oops. So he's just been a spectacular player for Paris today.
No question about it. 6'4" sophomore out of Carrollton, Texas. No doubt will play at a 4-year school once he leaves Paris after this year. You never know. There's been a pretty good pipeline there from Paris to University of North Texas with former Paris head coach Bill Foy, who led the Dragons to a national championship a few years ago, then left Paris to become the assistant coach there at the University of North Texas. (48-30). Winding down here this Region 14 Conference doubleheader from Cardinal Gym. Williamson puts up the 3 from the corner, no good. Cardinals battle for the rebound and get it. Derek drives the baseline, puts up the shot, draws a foul. Foul's going to be on Latay Darden from the Dragons. Derek at the free throw line. First one is good. Rattles around, but it finds the mark.
Well, that's his first points of the second half. He's got 5 for the game.
That explains a lot as far as the Cardinal deficit goes as well. We've got to have DeAndre Derrick scoring. DeAndre Derrick scoring. Second one is good as well. Cardinals pressuring the ball now. Have to have a steal, have to have stops. A lot of points, 16-point game. Wilson with a drive. He's definitely been a thorn in the Cardinals' side today, especially here in the second half. Blake trying to make something happen. forces up a three that's blocked and controlled. Great job by Latay Darden, dishing it off to Wilson. Mercy, 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 mercy. 20-point game. Williamson with the three-pointer, drains it. Cardinals finally get a three-pointer to fall. And a turnover. Keandre Derrick forces a turnover. Just got to keep playing. You never know what might can happen. Rusher underneath is fouled. Going to shoot 2 free throws.
Well, you know that Coach Smith isn't worried about what the score is. His team's going to play hard to the last minute anyway, regardless of the score.
Rusher will shoot 2. He's had a quiet game. He's got, what, 2 points, Michael? 3? One. Rusher has 1. 1 free throw in the first half. Okay. We said not a lot of point production out of the post players today.
I'm sorry, Rusher doesn't have any points. I was looking at his fouls.
Okay, so he's scoreless and still scoreless as he misses the first free throw. And misses the second, controlled by the Dragons. Can't come back, you don't hit free throws, that's for sure.
No.
I think this one's about in the book for the Dragons. Dragons get the ball down low to Desmond King. He's going to be fouled. He loses the ball out of bounds, but not before he's fouled. Foul's going to be on Rusher, number 52 for the Cardinals.
Well, and we're on the Cardinals are on pace to have their lowest offensive output of the year by far. They put up 56 twice, once against Kilgore, once against Angelina.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, that's 35 is it.
Harris is just working on the clock now, not really interested in scoring. Certainly not before it gets down inside 10 seconds. Shot clock is now at 10. Give and go, up, no good. Got a blocking foul on Xavier Williamson, number 31 for the Cardinals. He's going to go to the free throw line, Latay Darden to shoot 2. That's kind of a disappointing outcome, of course, for the Cardinals in a game in which they were in the first half, 19-16. First free throw is missed. It's going to get away from them. This game's going to get away from the Cardinals. It's going to.
Well, and the thing about it is, I think that if you would have told Coach Smith to start the game that you were going to hold Paris under 60 points, I think he'd have taken that.
Yeah, I think so too. Blake drives, is fouled, shot is blocked. Cardinals lose this game. They're going to drop to 20-6 on the season, 9-6 in conference play. Paris is going to improve to 22-4 and 13-2 in conference play. They own a 2-game edge over Navarro, so it looks like the Dragons are pretty much going to get the top seed out of the north zone for sure. And Navarro's going to be in a good position to get the second seed and a bye out of the north as the second place team. Of course, there's still games left. There's still games left. I'm just saying what it, just on paper, if you look at it, that's what it's going to look like. As you look at what the Cardinals have left, Michael, they've got Panola, Sanjak, and they got Panola, Navarro, Kilgore, and Bossier Parish all left on the schedule. And the second free throw is good.
Well, what was that upset today in girls, on the girls' side?
Mars beat Kilgore about 75-73.
Oh, man, and no one would have predicted that going in.
Dragons beat the press down the floor. Not going to be in any hurry. Cardinals are going to have to force the issue. Nice jumper. Cedric McBounds knocks down the jumper from just beyond the free throw line. Blake drives, trap, out to Williamson. Williamson forces up the three. No good. Rusher loses the ball on the rebound. Controlled by the Dragons.
It's kind of amazing to look at and think that regardless of how the second half turned out, TVCC actually scored more points in the second half than the first half, but he certainly doesn't feel that way.
Sure
with
doesn't.
them going for 16 in the first half and now 21 so far in the second half.
Steal by Derek. He's going to slam it home.
Yeah, that'll give the crowd something to cheer about for us.
It's not going to be enough, though.
No.
Wilson could have had another three-point attempt, but he turned it down. They'd rather burn clock. We're under a minute left now. 54-39. Got a foul of Blake. I'm not so sure that the Cardinals are too interested in fouling to make the Dragons shoot free throws at this point with this deficit being what it is, but you got to keep trying.
Number 2, Chris Blake of the Cardinals.
Yeah, here's Derek making that steal and giving the fans something to cheer about a little bit by going up. But like you said, it's not going to really change anything. Certainly not going to change anything.
Smith hits the first free throw. Knocks down the second. 56-39. Blake puts up the shot, no good. Rebound is controlled by the Dragons. Derek comes up with a steal, layup. Rusher slams that one home on the rebound. Turnover, and the Dragons get it back. And now it's another turnover. Williamson with a three-pointer, no good. Under 30 seconds left in the game.
The shot clock's off. They don't have to take a shot.
Don't have to take a shot. The Cardinals aren't going to be in any hurry or need to foul, so that's going to pretty much wrap it up. With the Dragons are going to score a 56-41 win today at Cardinal Gym to solidify their lead in the Region 14 Conference North Zone. That's going to make the records, as we looked at them earlier. The Parish is going to improve to 22-4 on the season, 13-2 in the conference. The Cardinals are going to fall to 20-6 on the year, 9-6 in the conference. And now then the Cardinals are kind of in a precarious situation because if they fall into a tie with the Tyler would own the tiebreaker.
And that could cause them some problems when they get to tournament play in the playoffs, because now you're talking about seedings, and the lower you are down in the seedings, the tougher the team you are, you're going to play.
Right. Well, we sure appreciate everyone's checking us out today at tvcc.edu. We'd like to hear from you at csn@tvcc.edu. That's our email address. Let us know where you're listening from and everything. We appreciate you joining us today. We won't have Coach Pat Smith today. He's already made his way to the locker room with the players, as you can imagine. He wants to get in there and visit with the team and start working on corrections for Wednesday's game. Again, like I said, we had a good first half, Michael. It was 19-16, but he just got away in the second half.
Yeah, Wilson hit for those 3 quick threes to start things out, and that gave them a 9-point cushion, and things kind of just fell apart from there.
It really did. I hope you'll pay attention to the credits as they roll across your screen. All these folks that got us on the air today, we certainly appreciate them. And we'd like to also mention that one of our cameramen today is enjoying his birthday, and that's Michael Berry. And Michael, we see him on your screen now. Michael, happy birthday from all the gang here. We sure appreciate everything you do on the camera over there. Hope you have a happy birthday. You wave
Happy
to the
birthday.
folks, Michael. Good job. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up. Again, we'll be with you next Saturday at 1:45, a doubleheader. The Lady Cardinals will play San Jacinto. The Cardinals will play Navarro at 2 and 4. That'll be our final webcast of the season. Again, thank you for joining us today. Let us hear from you, and have a great rest of the weekend. And this is Benny Rodgers bidding you good afternoon from Cardinal Gym in Athens, Texas.